Good morning, everybody. I just went to go live and realized that I forgot to set up the event this week. So hopefully you guys are gonna find me. And I'm sure everybody's wondering, where's the link? Where's the link? How do I get on the live stream? And here we are. So I am so excited to be here today. All right, we have some folks hopping on. Just before you got here, I was saying that I went to go live and I discovered that I had forgotten to set up the event in the Facebook group. So I'm so sorry. We've got so much exciting things happening. We have so many exciting things happening. I can't wait to talk to you guys today. All right, so we are popping on some administrative business. So we are going live using eCam. In order for me to be able to see who you are, you have to give eCam permission to send me your name. So please do that. Joel has posted the link inside the Facebook group, and Margaret says, good morning, happy Friday to you. Thank you for giving eCam permission, because then I know who you are and I can say, good morning, Margaret and Amy Lynn, yay. Oh my gosh, guys, I am so excited to be here today. I have such an exciting announcement. So, but while people are hopping on, I need to do my spiel. And for all the folks at home, you know how it goes. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm so excited for today. I'm so excited. Okay, so my name is Margie Remmers-Davis, and I am the creator of the Fast and Easy Way to QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certification. And this is our weekly live stream. Let's everybody scream. It's not Halloween yet. Live stream. This is our weekly live stream inside our Facebook group, which is the QBO Gym Locker Room. If you are here live, you already are on, you're already in the group. If you are watching the recording on YouTube, then join the group. The links are down below. Let me show you around. I'm going to hop over to my screen. A bunch of people popping on. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Marceline. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Okay, so this is our free Facebook group, the QBO Gym Locker Room, and we are entirely focused on hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. So inside of our Facebook group, in addition to our weekly live stream where we walk through some exercises together, you have access to nearly 100 free exercises to get your own hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. You're going to follow along in our weekly live streams, which I just said. You're going to vote on where you need more practice. We haven't had votes in a long time, but we have other exciting stuff happening. So, all right, Margaret says, drum roll, please. I think you're talking about my big announcement. But I need to get through my spiel first. Okay, so all right. So anyway, so here we are in the locker room. So if you are in the locker room, and you right here, it pinned in the featured section is this welcome post that says "Welcome to the Locker Room." This is how you're going to access those free exercises. So when you click that link, you're going to open up a spreadsheet that looks like this. And we have exercises in all different, they're grouped together in different ways. So we have the getting started. These are just some very super basic exercises if you don't know anything about QuickBooks Online. And then we have the basic, this basic tab opens up. These are all of our exercises from our basic level certification course. Then we have advanced, which are all of the exercises from our advanced level certification course. So if you don't if you don't have the money to buy the full course, you can just go through and do the exercises. So here are all of the exercises from our different courses. This is the QBO Gym, which I will talk to you about in a minute. Why isn't that coming up? Okay. And then we have our Pro Advisor challenges. And these are the ones that Intuit actually gives you to walk through. And so I am slowly but surely, you still see that there's still a whole list still to do of where I'm taking them and I'm turning them using our signature format for these Pro Advisor challenges. So they're just easier to walk through. And then we have some retired exercises. These are ones, these down here at the bottom are ones that were formerly in our courses. Intuit's no longer testing on them, but still it's good to know. And so, hey, I have an exercise, why not do it? So tons and tons and tons of hands-on exercises for you to do. Let me go through. Oh, we've got Corey, good morning. Tracy, good morning. Tracy from the Oregon coast. I noticed today that you are friends with my cousin. So we need to chat and figure out how you guys know each other. Anyway, good morning, Glenn. All these, yay, so many people. I'm so excited about today. Okay. All right. So this is, so let me go back to the QBO Gym. The QBO Gym is is a subscription-based product. This is the course that you don't get the exercises for free unless you are live on the live stream. If you're live on the live stream and we are going over gym exercises, then you Tracy says she works at they work together. Well, isn't that such a small world? Anyway, so so much. Okay, so Joel has posted to get me back on track. The QBO Gym is like a flight simulator for bookkeepers where it's a subscription product where you get to go in and you get to pretend to actually be a bookkeeper. And we walk you through you're going to sit down for a month and work through exercises as if you were actually working on somebody's books. So we like to say it's like getting on the job experience without getting a job. So when you are in the gym, and I wanted to start here because usually I start on a different page and I think people don't know where we are. But when you're in the gym, this is the first page. There I am, my little sports. We got this whole, gym theme going on that I've got to continue. Anyway, so there's some the little video that you watch, and then there's just some stuff for you to do here. And then you're going to get started by going through the different exercises. Now, up here at the top where it says all workouts, if you click that, okay, this is going to show you at a glance all of the exercises. So this is, let me just get my head out of the way here so you can see a little bit better. Okay. All right. So this is for the August issue, for example, we have everything divided up into kind of these 4 sections. So the warm-ups are all the exercises the things that you do when you very first walk in to work on, or walk in when you start working on Craig's books. Okay. So you're going to process the money that comes in, the money, take a look at what has come out. You're going to process bank feeds. And then in cardio, these are all of the things that Craig has asked you to do. So maybe he's asked you to send out an invoice or to send a reminder to somebody who's late on their invoice, or he's deposited checks. And so you have to record that kind of thing. Okay. And then the strength training, every month there is a different theme. There's a different focus where you're going to take a deep dive. Something has happened in Craig's business. Craig is our fictitious business owner, and something has happened in his business that requires you to use a particular feature. So in August, you can see that the theme was about tags. And so there was situations where he, had to use tags. Okay. And then we have a cool down, which is reconciling the bank accounts and running reports that you're going to provide to Craig. So that is, so here's August, here's July. Today I'm filming this on September 1st, and September 1st is we're going to be releasing this later today. And so let me just go into what we're actually going to work on today together is the July warm-ups. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open that up so you can see. Okay, so when you open up a section, it always starts with there's like a little 30-second animated video about what's happening in Craig's world. Okay, so what has happened since you last worked on his business. And then underneath that, there is, I'm kind of out of breath because I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay. I hope you guys like what I'm about to show you as much as I do. Like, I think it's just so cool. Okay. So, anyway, so then there's going to be like a little quiz, after you watch the video. There's a little quiz that, it helps you like test your own knowledge about what is going on with Craig and what you need to do. Let's see if you start now, or I'll answer that question in a second. And then, so you have this little quiz, and when you go to the end of the quiz, I'm not sure everyone knows this, because you can't really, it's hard for us to point it out. When you're finished, you want to click the little two arrows. So right here where it says all done, you want to click this button, and that will take you back, and you'll be able to see what the correct answer is and why that's the correct answer. This little feedback box is just kind of like a little learning thing, okay? And then after you do that, then here are all of the different exercises. And last week we did these first two exercises, and in the email that I sent you the links to the exercises because you were supposed to do them before we got on today. So hopefully you did that. It's going to be important. I can't remember why it's important, but we wrote here that it was. So so we'll see as we go through it together. Okay, so we have a question from somebody who did not give eCam permission, so I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. And I will just put it up on the screen. Okay, if you start now, so you have to go back to previous month so that the current month makes sense. No. So every month is independent. So it's not dependent on the previous. We specifically designed it so that it was, each is kind of its own universe, like its own bubble. They don't build on one another. So you can start anywhere and just do whatever you want. So if you were to join right now, and I think Joel put the link in the chat, but if you were to join right now, the first one that would pop up would be August, just like what you see right now, because we haven't released the September yet. We will do that later today. But then you can go through whichever ones you want, and you can do them in whatever order you want, and just make sure that you click this all workouts, and that will show you everything and what you've done. Okay? All right, so these two exercises are what we did last week. We are going to, if I don't talk too much, we're going to do these last three exercises. But before we do, let me take this off. Before we do, my exciting announcement. Oh my gosh. Okay. So here, okay. So here we go. So So a couple weeks ago, as if you guys have been around, a couple weeks ago I had my birthday. And on my birthday, I decided to, I put up a post that said, I'm going to, instead of making wishes, I'm going to grant them. And I asked people to tell me what they, what they really wanted, or like what I could help them with. And a couple days later, the following Saturday, so my birthday was on a Wednesday, and then on the following Saturday, we had a live stream. I did a drawing, and I gave away a bunch of free stuff. I gave away discounts, and it was just super fun. It was the best birthday ever, and I highly recommend that you do something. If you can do something similar on your birthday, like I can't tell you how great it feels to do that. Okay, so I did that. But what was interesting to me was that all of the I got so many comments from people just learning about where you guys are in your business, and and what you're struggling with and what you need help with and whatever. And I was surprised to learn how many of are struggling to get clients, or are just that you don't have any clients yet, or that's just a struggle for you. And so I guess I knew that it was an issue, but I didn't really know that it was an issue. And so I asked later in the group, how many of you are posting on social media? So, and I got a bunch of feedback, and the answer, and most of you are like, not. Well, if you're going to have a business, you have to put out your shingle. You have to let everybody know that you have a business, and that you are an expert, and that you know how to do this, and that you can take on clients. So, and part of the reason is I think a lot of you still have a lot of fear, and there's a lot of mindset things happening. And so I started to I am now having a Monday mindset live stream where we're just talking about that. We're just talking about that piece of helping you get over your fear and just get your head in the game. So that's one piece. But then the other piece was, I'm so excited. Okay, so the other piece was that so many people said, I know I should be posting on I know that I should be posting on social media, but I don't know what to say. And I thought, I can help with that. So, where's that, Margaret? Where's that drum roll? Drum roll. I am excited to announce that beginning with the September issue of the gym, we are now providing marketing prompts for what you are learning, how to post about it on your social media. I recommend LinkedIn for sure, because that's like Facebook for business. But any social media, other social media things where you're active. When I lived in Utah, I was shocked to learn that nobody there used LinkedIn. Everybody used Facebook, and there are lots. Everyone was expected to do business on Facebook, so there were a lot of Facebook groups specifically for business in Utah. So anyway, all right. So I'm going to show you what it looks like in our September issue. Okay, so here is a preview of the September issue. Okay, so looks the same, right? Okay, so we're going to click on warm-ups. Okay, and you're going to see at the bottom, it looks just the same, right? So here's your little video. Here is your little quiz. Here are the exercises. And then now at the bottom, we have a new option that says share what you know. Okay, it says, congratulations, you have learned a lot so far. Share what you know on LinkedIn and other places business owners hang out. Click here for some sample posts. So when I click this, now, this is what I'm showing you is just the preview. Okay, so it works slightly differently than it will for you in real life. In real life, you have to have done all these exercises, okay, in order for this to work, okay? But once you've done all these exercises and you click click here for some sample posts. You're going to go to a page full of marketing prompts. Okay, so if you've done the September warm-ups, then you're going to get these 5 prompts. Okay, you learned about owner's draws. Here's a sample post. Dear business owner, it's your business, so you can just take money out of your account anytime you want, right? Well, if you're a sole proprietor, then yes, but you'll need to make sure you record it correctly in QuickBooks Online. I can show you how. And they're all like that. There are 15 in the September issue. So here we are, the September. For the September issue, there are 15 prompts. So you're going to go through the September issue of the gym. You're going to do all these exercises, and you're going to have 15 things. So you can, every other day, you could be posting things in your social media accounts. Now, you don't have to use exactly what I wrote here, right? But this is just an idea. Maybe you want to include a pretty picture. Maybe you don't. Maybe, make sure, I'm going to do later today, I'm going to record a YouTube video explaining just kind of some basics on LinkedIn so that you know what to do with these. So if you need that, then you'll have a little bit more. So you don't have to put this. You could include a picture if you wanted, whatever. As long as you make sure that people know, you have to put in your profile that people know that you are a QBO Pro Advisor. And you make sure you say QuickBooks Online. Don't say QBO because people don't know what that is. Say QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. If you guys don't have your Pro Advisor certification, get it. Get it. Get it. Okay. If you missed the promotion this month, we're having a back to school sale. Everything is 23% off for 2023. Get that certification so that you can go on LinkedIn and you can say, I am a certified QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. And then you can just put all of these little things. All right. And somebody said that you never have to worry now. You never have to wonder what to put on social media. So this now is coming in the September issue, which is going to be released later today. And it's going to be moving forward. And then slowly we're going to go back and add them to the previous issues. So eventually all of the previous issues will have them. Okay. So, and I don't know if anybody asked this question, but once you are in the gym, then you have access to all the previous issues. So you have, you'll get whatever you have now, and then they're all there. And we started in February of this year. So you have whatever that is, 9 months, 8 months worth of stuff that you can go through and learn and post about. I'm so excited. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to see you guys be as excited about it as I am. Okay. All right. Let's get to work. We have 35 minutes left and we have 3 exercises to do. Let's do them. All right. So here we are back in, this is still the September preview. Okay. So I'm going to close that. Okay. Warm ups. Okay. So here we are back in, now we're getting to work. July, this is the July warm-ups. We started last two. Oh, here it is. I don't know why it just popped up on my screen here. Somebody says, you will never not know or run out of material anymore. And that is correct. Oh my gosh, so exciting. Okay. All right. So here we are in the warm-ups. This is July. You can see July right up there. So we're in the July warm-ups. Hopefully you have already done these 2 exercises. I did them before we hopped on. Joel, if you can go ahead and put them in the chat so people have them if they weren't here last week. Because you only get these if you're not already a member of the gym, then the only way to get them is to be on the live stream. So, but if you're in the gym, of course you have them already. Okay. All right, so we are moving on to practice adding expenses. So what we've already done is we got some checks and we received some payments or we marked invoices as paid with those checks. And with those checks, there were different situations. One, we didn't know exactly which customer it was from. Another one was the person accidentally sent too much in, wrote the check for more than it actually owed. And so you had to figure out what to do with that. So that was already, and then we had a journal entry that we had to do because Craig had sold some stuff at a farmer's market, and so we used a journal entry. You could also use a sales receipt. Other issues of the gym have like a similar scenario where we do use a sales receipt. There's pros and cons to both. And so now we're moving on to adding the receipts. Now, for this exercise, you'll need the receipts from Craig. Click the button under the animated video to download it. Then click here to practice adding expenses. Okay? If you are on this call live and you do not have the gym and you need this document, email support@fastandeasyqbo.com and we will send it to you. Okay? But for the purposes of us, I'm just going to walk through it. So we're going to click the stack of receipts right here. Oh. All right, there we go. So here are some receipts. Looks like we have Ellis with an $800 backhoe, Hicks Hardware with a shovel for $24.38, and a telephone bill for $24.36. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do with those. Okay. Scenario. Craig left you a stack of receipts to enter for purchases he made since you last visited. Click the link beneath the animated warm-up video on the previous page to grab a copy. We'll use them for this exercise. That's what I just did. Okay. One of the challenges when receiving receipts is knowing which account they were paid out of. If you can't tell from the receipt itself, you'll need to ask Craig. For these exercises, we will assume that Craig used his debit card and paid for all of them from his checking account. Also, we will not be working with sales tax in these exercises. Okay, so Ellis. We'll start with the receipt that says Ellis. Let's go look at it again. Okay, so here's the receipt that says Ellis. Even though it doesn't say Ellis Equipment Rental specifically, we can be reasonably assured that it's the same. You could ask Craig if you need to double check. Okay, so we're going to go to step 1. Okay, we're going to click plus new and expense. Okay, here I am in my sample company. Hit plus new. By the way, guys, you know that this menu is changing. It'll be fully changed over, I think by the end of September, they said. So once this is fully changed over, we will redo all the exercise. We have a lot of work to do because we're going to redo all of the exercises. If any of you have Snagit as a software, or are Mac users and already have annotated pictures, and you would like to help out with that effort, then email support@fastandeasyqbo.com because it is going to be a huge effort to change out a lot of our pictures. So anyway, so if you're interested in helping us out with that project, then let us know. All right, again, you have to have, if you are a Mac user, all you have to be is a Mac user. If you are a PC user, you have to have the software Snagit. Anyway, let us know. Okay, so back to the exercise. See, this is why I only get through 2 exercises last week because I talk too much. All right, so we're going to expense. Here we go. All right, here is the exercise. We went to expense. Okay, in the payee field, start typing Ellis Equipment Rental and then click on the name when it appears. Okay, here we go. Ellis. Oops. Ellis Equipment Rental. Okay. Change the payment account to checking. Okay. Checking. Next, you will need to decide whether to add the items in the category grid or the items grid. They will go in the items grid if Craig wants to track how many he has on hand, for an inventory product, or just how many he has purchased over time, a non-inventory product. If so, these will be set up in products and services. If neither of these are true, such as with equipment rental, they will go in the category grid. Note that for this transaction, the category grid is already pre-filled with the data from a previous Ellis transaction. You can decide in account and settings whether you want QBO to automatically do this, okay? Sometimes it's really, really helpful, and other times it's really annoying. Note that for this transaction, in the category grid description, you're going to delete the description. Craig has not given you any details about the length of the rental. Then in the amount field, enter 800. Okay, so right here, okay, equipment rental, it's already came up. We don't know anything about this, so we're going to delete it, and we're going to change this to 800. Okay. Okay, since you have more expenses to enter, select Save and New. Save and New. All right, next we're going to move on to the Hicks Hardware receipt. In the Payee field, we're going to enter Hicks Hardware. Hicks Hardware. Note that checking is already selected as a payment account right here. Okay. Craig does not track individual shovels, so we'll use the category grid, not the items grid for this. As before, QBO pre-fills the data from the last transaction for Hicks. In the category field, enter supplies. Okay, so right here, we're changing this to supplies. In the description, I think it said we're just going to say shovel. And the amount was $24.38. Okay, oops, not that one. Alrighty, we will enter the final expense a different way, so select Save and Close. Okay, Save and Close. Alrighty, Cal's telephone. Finally, we'll enter the receipt for Cal's telephone. Craig pays this bill automatically every month and has a scheduled bill transaction set up to automatically enter it into his check register. This time, however, he decided to stop by and pay early. We can easily use the previously recorded recurring transaction to add this to the register, then mark it paid. Let's see how. Okay, so click the gear icon and select recurring transactions. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Recurring transactions. Okay, step 2. Note that the next date shown in the grid is likely in the past. Let's look at this. Okay, so right here, this next date, today we're filming on September 1st. This next date says October 21st. This is only happening because this is a sample company, okay? In real life, the next date would actually be a date in the future. All right, and this is what I said here. This is just because we're using the sample company. In a real life scenario, this would be the next occurrence of the trend. Okay, and FYI, guys, just for like a real life thing, my recurring transactions list is in my personal business is enormous, like it's huge. Okay, so that he only has the fact that Craig only has 2 recurring transactions is kind of, I think, unusual, but because my list is enormous, I use recurring transactions for so many things. Okay, all right. Let's see. In a real life scenario, this would be the next, regardless, we can override the date. Okay, in the action column, select the arrow next to edit and select use. Okay, so this is the telephone bill that we're looking at right here, Cal Telephone. We're going to select this one and say use. Let me just check the chat real quick. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Okay. All right, let's see. Note that the next, oh, wait, I did that already. Okay, we should be on step 3. Did I? Yeah. Step 3. Everything is correct, so click the black save button. Notice we are not doing, okay, so everything is correct here. We're not doing anything on the green button. We're so used to clicking save and new or save and close. In real life, you might hit save and schedule payment if you're going to use Melio, for example, or they're getting rid of Melio and they're doing their own payment thing. Intuit is, but so usually we hit the green button. But in this instance, because he paid it, Craig stopped by and paid it early, right? So now we're going to click save, okay, so that we can now mark it as paid. Look at this, mark as paid. Okay, let's go. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I always do that. Okay, step 4. Now that the bill has been entered, it's time to mark it as paid. So we're going to click mark as paid. All right, so mark as paid. And by using the recurring transaction, of course, it just saves us all that time from having to manually enter anything. It was already there as a recurring transaction, so all we have to do is use it. So it's super. I love recurring transactions. Like I mentioned, I use them all the time. Okay. Under bank credit account, select checking, then click save and close. Okay. So right here, we're just going to select checking. Okay. And we're going to hit save and close. Okay, that's it for adding the expenses. By the way, before I leave this exercise, I want to point out right here where it says video. So if at any time you are doing an exercise and you get lost or the screen's different or whatever, you can click video, and Jen, here's our lovely Jen, goes through and she records all of the exercises. And July is finished. June is finished. I can't remember. She's a rock star. She just she just pumps these out like crazy. So anyway, so she's catching up, getting all of our videos there. So that's there. Also subscribe to our YouTube. So this is always here, but also subscribe to our YouTube channel, duh. And then you'll always get the exercises as she does them. And if you were subscribed to the YouTube channel, you'll get that LinkedIn video that I'm going to record later today. You'll get that automatically. If something changes on an exercise, if Intuit changes the interface, like things are located different, or the like the button changes, the words change, or something like that, you see something is different, then use this feedback button. Make sure you put the exercise number. Here's the exercise number. Make sure you put that in it, and tell us, like, if you see something, if you see a typo or something's missing, or whatever. Okay. All right. So that's that with that exercise. I'm going to close that. I'm going to go back. So we did this. That was all done. So now I'm going to go back to the warm-ups. Okay. And in the real gym, you would just click practiced it, and it would go ka-ching, and you get a woohoo you get earn points. The gym, one of the things I love about the gym is all gamified. My vision was to have like Duolingo for bookkeepers so that you can go in and you can, do fun things, and you earn badges, and you, get these little ka-chings and celebrations and all that. Super fun. Okay. So next we're going to practice sending an estimate to a subcustomer. Let's take a look at that. Okay. So our scenario, and this, by the way, these scenarios, these you learned in the little animation. Remember I showed you the little animation? So that tells you like what's happening here. So when I read this, it says, Sonnenschein Family Store has opened a new location. They plan to install a fountain just like the one Craig did for them for their main store. So Craig has asked you to send them another estimate. The main store will handle all of the approvals and payments, but Craig would like to track his income and expenses for this location separately. Multiple locations like this is a good time to use sub-customers like we saw with the Freeman Sporting Goods in a previous exercise. That was the exercise we did last week. All right, so this, like we saw with Freeman Sporting Goods, that was the one we did last week. So, so if you weren't here, you can watch the recording. Joel sent you the exercises if you don't have the gym. Okay, we're good. All right, so step 1. First, let's find the original estimate for Sonnenschein Family Store. Since we need to make a copy, we'll have to go through the customers list. For some reason, the estimates list does not allow you to do this. Okay, so hold on. We're going to go to sales and then customers. So it seems logical that we could go to sales and then estimates, but this doesn't allow you to copy the estimate. So we're going to go to sales and customers instead. Okay. Step 2, we're going to click on Sonnenschein Family Store. Sonnenschein. I'm saying it that way because I speak a little German, and I always think it's interesting when to hear Elon Musk say Tesla. He always says Tesla. He never says Tesla. So, I don't know. Sonnenschein. Okay, here we are. Sub-customer, click there. Step 3. QBO will assume that you're still only wanting to look at open invoices, so you'll need to clear these filters, okay? So this was from the previous exercise, okay? From the ones that you were supposed to do before we got on. In that exercise, you filtered this list by open exercise invoices, and that's why it's still that way. So what we want to do is we want to clear, let's see, how did I tell you to clear it? Under type, select all transactions. Right there. Okay. And now we have our 2 transactions. One is an invoice and one is the estimate. That's the one we're looking for. Okay. Oh, look at that. It goes straight from step 3 to step 5. Joel, I think we should fix that. I'm surprised Jen didn't pick up on that. Anyway, all right, so step 5 or step 4, depending on how you count. On the estimate line, click the arrow in the action column and select duplicate. Okay, so right here is the estimate line. Click on the arrow and select duplicate. This is one of those exercises we had to redo recently because after we published it, because it used to say copy, make a copy, and now it's duplicate. Okay, so we did that. Step 6. Now we have a copy of the estimate, but we need it to be for Sonnenschein's new location. Click in the customer field and enter 2 after the customer name. Then click plus add new Sonnenschein Family Store 2. Okay, so right here, I'm going to click in there and I'm going to add the number 2 and then I'm going to click add new. Okay, steps 7 and 8. Check. Is a sub-customer, then use the parent customer drop-down to select the Sonnenschein Family Store. After you select this as the parent, QBO will automatically populate the billing address from the parent record. Note that Sonnenschein has told Craig that the main location will handle all of the approvals and billing, so we will leave this address. Craig could add the actual physical address of the new location in the, oh, there's 2 thes right there, in the shipping address section, And you would just uncheck the same as billing address, but we're not going to be doing that in this exercise. Okay, so let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So we're saying this is a sub-customer, so we're checking right there. Okay, we're going to say the parent customer is Sonnenschein. Okay, and notice I started to point with my finger, but I guess you can't see my finger pointing to my monitor. Notice that before I select this, there's no information here. But when I select Sonnenschein Family Store and tab out, okay, it filled in the email and phone number. Okay, it also filled in the billing address down here. So what we could do, if you wanted to keep track of the actual physical location, you could put it as the shipping address right here, but we're not going to do that. But I want to point out this right here is super important, bill parent customer. Let's talk about that. You'll want to leave bill parent customer checked. This will allow you to include estimates and invoices from Sonnenschein 2 when sending invoices for the main location. We'll see how this works in a future exercise. We're just going to click Save. Okay, so right here, we're going to click Save. Okay, so now we've got Sonnenschein 2. We've got the same estimate, and we are, what are we going to do? Step 9. Note that Sonnenschein Family 2 is now indicated as a customer. In a real-life scenario, you would send this to the customer, but for the purposes of this exercise, we're just going to click Save and Close because you can't actually send things from the sample company. So instead of Save and Send, we're going to click Save and Close. Okay. Alrighty, so now we're finished. You'll now see a second estimate in the list for Sonnenschein Family Store. So this is the parent company that we're looking at. And so now we're going to see both the parent company stuff and this is the new sub-customer, and then this is the parent customer stuff. You see them both in this list because that's what is selected here. This entire issue, by the way, the July issue, remember I said earlier that each issue of the QBO Gym kind of like has a theme or a focus? The July issue is all about locations. Location, location, location. So in this one, we're just kind of warming up and talking about a sub-customer for Sonnenschein. But then later we're going to talk about, and then earlier we talked about the locations for the Freeman. And then later in this issue of the gym, we're going to talk about different locations for Craig. And it all gets a little complicated. You have to keep it in your head. Okay. All right, so that is that exercise. And we're going to, so again, I would just check that. Ka-ching. And now we're going to practice processing bank feeds. Okay? All right, and now you're going to learn the bane of my existence. The bane of my existence in the sample company is that we cannot import bank transactions. We can import products and services, we can import customers, we can import vendors, you can import just about anything, but for some reason they will not let us import bank transactions. And so that means that every month in the gym we have the same 25 transactions that we have to process. The good news is that I have a really awesome creative team. And so we always come up with different stories about these transactions. And so every month, even though you're dealing with the same transactions, the story is slightly different. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. After you have, and my phone, I need to put it on silent. So sorry about that. Okay. After you have input all the sales and expense transactions, it's time to process the bank feeds. This means comparing what went into and out of the bank and making sure that there is a correct record of it in QBO. Okay? Yes, it is. So Amy Lynn is asking, now is it called transactions on their new left left navigation menu in QBO? I believe it is. Yeah. So right now that left navigation bar can be, you can see the old view or the new view. You can switch between them, but soon they'll transition everybody, so there will just be the one menu, which is a great news because a lot of people complained. A lot of people, because they used to have the accountant had a different menu than the business owner, and it just created too much confusion. So now everyone's going back to the same menu. Okay. And they're taking a little bit, it's mostly going to be the same as the accountant version, but they are taking some of the things like renaming banking to transactions. They're taking some of the things from the business view one. So yeah, so that's that. All right. Thank you, Amy Lynn. All right. So now we're going to process bank feeds in 5 minutes. I'm sure it'll be a little bit more than 5 minutes. Okay. So from the left nav bar, select banking and click banking. Amy Lynn says she complained about it, about having two different things. And yes, so this is going to change. So as I said earlier, if anyone wants to be a part of the project of getting all new screenshots when we change the menu, we would love to have you help out with this project. Okay. Oh, so I better do that. Okay. Banking and banking. Okay. In a real life scenario, you would want to double check to make sure that what QBO thinks is a match is actually matched correctly to QBO transactions. Since you are the one that entered the transactions in the first place, you can usually do this fairly easily with a quick glance. For this exercise, we're going to assume that the matches are correct. Click the All Transactions dropdown and select Potential Match. So what we're going to do is, okay, so here we are. If you're not familiar with this screen, we are going back to basics, I said today, is the pop-ups. Okay, so here are all of the accounts that are connected to a bank right now. So we've got a checking account, a savings account, and the MasterCard. And so right now, because it's blue, we're looking at the checking one, and there are 25 transactions that need to be processed, okay? So sometimes you have like a giant list here, and you want to like narrow it down and only look at some things, and so that's why we have these filters. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at all of the ones that are potential matches. Okay, and here is the list. These are the ones that the bank feed. So I know some of you are new and we're going back to basics today. So you have all of the work that you do in QuickBooks Online. Okay, you're adding in invoices, you're adding expenses, those receipts that we processed. You're doing all of that in QuickBooks Online. And then there is stuff happening at the bank. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that what's actually happening at the bank is correctly reflected in QuickBooks Online. And that's why we do this matching exercise. We do this process of saying, okay, here's what happened at the bank. I want to make sure that that matches, that I have a record of it correctly in QuickBooks Online. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. So we have, these are the ones that QuickBooks Online says, I found this on the bank side. I found it on the bank side, and here's what I think it matches to on the QuickBooks Online side. Okay, so it matched most of them. Some of them it found more than one match, so we have to address those. So let's go here. So we did that. Step 3. Okay, there are a couple of transactions that have multiple matches. Let's address those first. We're going to scroll to and then click the Pam Sites transaction. Okay, here's the Pam Sites, and we're going to click that. Okay, then we're going to note that the transaction date will vary as the sample company is always adjusting. Okay, step 4. When attempting to match, QBO only searches by amount. When you look at the option, amount, and there's a date range too. but it's primarily the amount. When you look at the options, however, you can see that the bank description matches the expense recorded for Pam sites. Okay, so if you look here, let's go back to our, okay, here it is. Okay, so it found two records in QuickBooks Online. Here's an expense. This part right here is what's QuickBooks Online. Okay, this part right here is from the bank. Okay, so here, look, here's an expense that says Pam Sites. Well, we know that that's a match right there. So we're going to click that match. Notice it's always also found one by Books by Bessie because the dates are really close. The amounts are identical. Okay, so it doesn't know which one is correct. And so look down here, Books by Bessie, there's 2 matches found. It's the same one. But when I click match here, like magic, dun dun dun, like magic, where'd it go? Here, I was going to be so dramatic and it disappeared. That's not it. Here it is, Books by Bessie. Like magic, Books by Bessie now automatically matched because there was only one left. Okay. All right, so click match 5. Okay, notice, scroll to, then click to the Squeaky Clean Car Wash transaction. So we have the same situation. Here we have Squeaky Clean Car Wash. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to click it. Okay, now it found 2 transactions. There is a check debit that is $19.99, and there's a cash expense that is also $19.99. And so we're like, notice that there are 2 transactions, but with different types and transaction dates. What we're going to do is we're going to select the one that matches the date of the bank feed. That's the one that should already be selected. So let's see. Okay, so this remember down here, this is what's in QBO. Up here, this is what's in the bank. Okay, so this is the QBO 84. This is the bank 84. So that's what we're going to match. Okay, this one right here is left with no match, and we're going to have to figure out what the heck is the story with this. My guess is that the cash, it's not supposed to be, it's not supposed to be here because it's cash. So it's probably supposed to be in, say, a petty cash account. And guess what? We have a whole issue of the gym that talks about petty cash and how to handle that. Okay, I can't remember what issue it is. All right, so let's see. Okay, if this were a real situation, you would want to investigate the other transaction later. Did I click match already? I did not, so I need to go ahead and click match. All right, steps 7 and 8. Now that you only have single matches left in the list, you can accept the matches in batch. Okay, so we're going to click the checkbox at the top of the column to select all the transactions. Okay, click all of the transactions. Okay, and then a black bar appears. Let me just check that. Okay, black bar appears, and then we can say accept. Do you ever wonder why it says accept right here and it doesn't just say match? Because you're like, well, I want them all to match. That's because you can use this for ads as well as matches. So it just says accept what you have selected. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select accept. Okay, step 9. There are no more matched transactions in the list, so clear the filter by clicking potential match X. This is a pretty common thing that you might find an error like this and think you've done something wrong. Oh, Cherie says petty cash is in the April issue, so thank you, Cherie. So anyway, so this is a pretty common thing where you like get this error message and you think, oh shoot, I've done something wrong. Why am I getting this? And really the answer is just because you still have the filter on. And so here we're going to take off the filter by clicking the X. And so here are the ones that we still have to do. All right. So review. Of the transactions that remain, Books by Bessie requires some investigation, so you will leave that for now and ask Craig about it later. Okay, so let's look again. So we've got Craig, Books by Bessie. We have some uncategorized income, And we don't know what to do about that, so we're going to have to ask Craig, okay? But we'll do that later. There are 3 transactions for a rental. You recall from past experience that Ellis Equipment Rental changed their name a while back, and this is how they are still showing up on bank transactions. That's very common, guys. People change their names, but then they don't change, like the bank, the merchant account or whatever still has the old name. But there's a problem. First, the bank is showing a deposit of $200 and a withdrawal of $1,200. Craig didn't tell you anything about these, so you'll have to ask him about them as well. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we've got these 2 that we don't know what to do about. Okay, so we'll ask Craig about that. The last 2 transactions, however, you are sure you entered. Why aren't they matching? Let's take a look at them. Okay, here is a rental. So remember we entered Ellis rental, like we did it together. This Ellis rental expense, we did it together for $800. And we also did that Hicks hardware for $24.38. We did that. So why aren't they matching? Let's take a look. Okay. When looking for matches, QBO searches its records for 90 days prior and 10 days after the bank transaction date. However, because the dates in the sample company are always changing, they are not going to match the date of the transactions you entered previously. To get these to match, you will need to change the date of your previously entered transactions to the date of the transaction as it appears today. Let's walk through how to do this, okay? All right, steps 10 through 11, okay? Now, again, in real life, oh, I'm frozen again. Shoot. Let me go back. Okay. So Joel said I was frozen on step 9. We cleared the potential match. Here is the review where we were talking about these 2 and why aren't they matching. They are, it only looks for a specific date range, and because of the darn sample company, we can't actually match up the dates because the date that Margaret says that on my end, I did not freeze. Interesting. Anyway, so it's because of the sample company. Now, in real life, you will just enter the real dates of things and it will be fine. But do remember that when it's trying to match, it does have this date range thing. So that's always a thing to look for that happens. You're like, I swear I entered that. Why is it not matching? So that's one thing to look at is the date. Another thing to look at, this is bonus material here. Another thing to look at is the account. You may have accidentally, when you entered it, you entered an expense, for example, and it was supposed to be the checking account, but you actually accidentally put it in the credit card account. So now when you are going to reconcile, you're not seeing it in the checking account. And it's because you go and you find that transaction and you open it up and dang it, you put it in the wrong account. So anyway, that's pretty common too. Okay. All right. First, take note of the bank feed dates for these transactions. The example picture shows 6/4/23 for a rental and 5/14/23 for Hicks hardware. So that's what we'll be using. Your dates will be different. Okay. So here we are doing it differently than what we're seeing. Okay. So the A rental one is 8/9 and the Hicks hardware one is 7/19. Okay, so on the left nav bar, we're going to go to expenses. Okay, somebody help me remember 8/9, 7/19, because we're going to go to expenses. Usually I have like a little pad of paper in here, but I didn't today. Okay, so here's our expenses, and the ones we entered are at the top. Okay, so we're going to, for Ellis Equipment Rental, what did I say? I think it's 8/9. Gonna edit that one. Uh-oh. There we go. Change that to 8, 9. Save and close. And then we're going to go to Hicks Hardware. TTT. View and edit. I think that one was 719. Hopefully I didn't mix them up. You guys are supposed to keep me on my toes. All right. 719, I think. All right. Okay, so on the left nav bar, for Ellis Equipment Rental, view and edit, that's what we just did. Change the payment date you noted for Ellis. Okay, that's what I just did. Steps 3, okay, Hicks Hardware, we did. Okay, so now we're going to go back to banking. Okay, banking. Okay, the 2 expenses you entered previously now match the bank feed. To accept the matches both at once, check the boxes and click accept. All right, crossing my fingers that it worked. Yay! So now it says match found, match found. So we're going to just check those 2 boxes. Okay, and click accept. And there's 3 left, and so we'll just have to ask Craig about those later. We could change them to a different account that says, you know, ask later, but I find that if I just keep them in here, I'll remember. I don't know. Everyone has a different process. Okay, and dun, 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 that was it. All right. All right, that's it, guys. Oh, 12 minutes over. That's because I talk too much. Well, you know, and to be fair, there was a lot of freezing. There was a lot of freezing today, but I do talk too much, and I'm super excited about the new marketing prompts in the QBO Gym. I'm so excited. So you guys have a fantastic weekend. What should we talk about next week? I haven't decided yet. I wanted to go back to basics because the last couple of months we've been doing some really heavy advanced topics. So these last 2 weeks we've done more basic, and so I don't know. Let me know what I haven't decided. Let me know what you think would be good to cover, what it is that you really need. Maybe we'll go back to some exercises that are not from the gym, because we've been focusing on the gym a lot lately. But then again, if we do the gym, that means that that's like the only opportunity you get to get them for free if the membership is not for you right now. So I don't know. Let me know. Post in the group. And you guys have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you on Monday for Mindset Monday. All right. Bye. Talk to you later.